next up, what have we got? Oh, this one. Here we go. The HST little 2-car set. As I say, I don't know. I'm told reliably that this is mine. It seems to be I can't place the generations of Hornby boxes. So this is an R069. I'm assuming that this is older than timber. Sorry, you know the two coaches that was it two coaches? Sorry, the coach and the loco that we looked at earlier, which had the sort of browny colour box with the red ending and then a white and yellow band down them. I have a feeling this is an older one. And obviously being an R069, it's certainly an earlier number in the series. But I have no idea when I got these. So, fold it out. And again, because I didn't have any coaches with them, and I don't think these had hooks, certainly with how tight this seems to be in the packaging. Yeah, there was no hooks on the thing, so I couldn't have run them together. I would have had to put something in between, which most likely would have been the B-set coach, which would look very, very odd. So I don't think these were ever used much, and then I got the restaurant card to go in between, but never really got it any further. I think I remember it being a very, very noisy runner. Oh. Yeah, so it's a power bogey. We've got traction tyres on that end, but up this end we've still got gears on this bogey. They're just not attached to anything. So yeah, again, that's going to be a bit dusty on top, but a quick brush should get it going. I'm not going to try pulling it apart, I think. Working lights it did at the time, but I have a feeling it was a very noisy runner, so it didn't get used much. Also, one of the other reasons a lot of stuff didn't get used much because as a kid I was allowed decision making powers as to what was exactly on the layout, and I'm not going to get all of it out, but I will get a couple of bits. Let's do this one, because this is all packed a bit tightly into the box. It's also snapped off. If anybody remembers, you had the grand suspension bridge, and this is only part of it. Okay, so if we get that on there, I don't really want to clip it all together. I don't even know how it's... Hang on. Right, so that was the initial one. I'm not too sure how this all connected. I need to stop with that. Yeah, so but anyway, this is half of the bridge. Again, it's another one we really don't have room to see. So let's grab up. Yeah, that's half the bridge. And the problem was, I wanted the whole bridge. I had got this bridge. It was a It was a birthday gift, and I wanted to have this was right before the layout was built. The what would be the baseboards for it had been constructed. It was set up. There was just no track on it at all. And yeah, I was like, no, that's it. I have to have the whole bridge, which meant the length of the layout was that bridge and 2 semicircles. That's just how long basically how long the layout was. So it was so the entirety of the inclines at each end of the bridge were on I don't know, probably first radius, maybe second radius curves at best. And it was only the 180-degree turn that had any incline on it at all. The entire front stretch of straight track was flat. Was flat at baseboard level. So it meant there was very little that ran very well. I was incredibly restricted on length of train that I could run because it just wouldn't go up the hills. that simple, unfortunately. But that is what happens when you let a little kid decide what they want, because they don't understand the consequences. Right, we are getting right near the end. We've got we're pretty much done in terms of the stock. So what we have now is what is probably the last set of railway stuff I ever received, and that is, well, two LNER teak coaches, and you can guess what goes with that. Dun 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 dun. The Flying Scotsman. That is also upside down in its box. There we go. We'll put the box the right way up. And what I'm finding odd by these, they've got this flap. They were supposed to hang. You've got this one little slot in both of them. That one's still got the little tab inside it. But yeah, they were intended to hang on a prong in a shop. Bizarre. Wouldn't have imagined that. But they were taped down because that made them easier to wrap up. This was a Christmas present. The locomotive was from my parents, and the 2 coaches was from my paternal grandmother. And yes, so the flaps had been folded down and taped down to make them easier to wrap up in paper. Now I have, let's see, this box full of stuff only got hold of a couple of days ago, but the local model railway club has since had a meeting. That was actually last night. So I did sneak these out of the box yesterday afternoon, popped them in the bag. The layout that they've got down there doesn't quite work properly yet. It's needing a bit of rewiring and some fault finding. But yeah, I did have this down, so I only have myself to blame for this being upside down in its box. It would have been what I did last night when I was putting it away, and it ran. I took it straight out of the packet. I think it's helped by the fact, as I say, this was the last railway stuff I think I was purchased, like double O railway stuff that I was purchased. So I was saying I have a feeling that the locomotive probably had less than 2 hours of running time on it. It was rather sluggish to start with, but after like a lap and a half, 2 laps, it got back and it was doing a decent pace with the 2 coaches in tow. So that was really that was really nice just to see it going round. I did enjoy that. That was good. Right, what else have we got? Oh, here we go. The most fancy of coaches I purchased. This was I bought this from a model shop in the Metro Centre up Gateshead Way, and it was from the at the time brand new Bachmann branch line series. They'd only just entered the UK market, and the coach was something of a revolution compared to the offerings from Hornby. And it actually still holds up really nicely. Can't really, yeah. So you got the handholds are still there. You've got the handrails on the end there. You can just about see. Much finer mouldings on the underside. Just generally a greater attention to detail and a finer mould. These were in a fairly soft rubber. I don't know if it will really notice, but yeah, we can. I suppose we can. Yeah, just flex the corridor connections around, and this was lovely. I just got that because I was still sort of thinking, you know, Great Western was my thing. I think the way of everything, I know it became something of a joke. That everybody's like, you know, every layout was a Great Western terminus, and then there was fuss about when people started transitioning away from that onto diesel stuff. I know there was a lot of fuss made about how the Scottish diesel terminuses were going to take over from the Great Western ones, since you could have short diesel haul trains and freight into the same very small locations. But yeah, no, that was again purchased with birthday money, because we would have been up visiting family that way. It would have been a summer holiday most likely. And we would have gone to the Metro Centre because, well, you had to. They're in indoor do indoor fun fair, including the indoor roller coaster, which it was fairly basic. I mean, you can't do much with a like you've barely got 2 floors of a house to put it in. There's not that much you can do in terms of up and down and round corners. But it was all in there. It was all great. And yeah, it turned out that we just happened to see a little model shop tucked away round a corner somewhere. And yeah, picked that up in it. Which brings me on to what I consider the star of the show and my favourite class of locomotive. It is. I'm going to take it out of the box for this one. It is a dirty diesel. But we have, and I haven't actually taken this out of the box since I discovered these. Right, here it is, a Class 37. I love these things. The local station, obviously it was multiple units, and never really did loco hauled trains. It was all multiple units and the big block freights. And with where we were, as I said, just down the road from me was the Ford car plant at Dagenham. And in the other direction we had Tilbury Docks, and the refinery at Shellhaven, just near to Canvey Island. So most of the freight I saw was either the big sort of 60-foot container flats or the 100-ton bogie tank wagons. and depending on what was available, I guess, either being hauled by a Class 47 or a Class 37, and small child me absolutely adored the Class 37s. I think it has to have been the engine noise, in the same way like you get car fanatics talking about, a V10, like a high revving V10 sounds so much better than a V6, or you need a flat planed V8 for the proper burble when it's idling and accelerating away. I think it was that kind of just the noise that the engine produced when it was setting off, because the level crossing at the station literally was right at the end of the platform. So if the train, yeah, and the signal that they would be held at was at the end of the platform as well. So from the level crossing gate to the loco, maybe about 10 feet, 12 feet at a push. It was like you were sort of standing about it, like where my finger is to scale. You were sort of there, kind of. So yeah, as a small child, waiting at the gates, watching to see the trains go, and then having it open up. Proper hands over the ears, open mouthed. Oh, I can't believe it. It's amazing. Yeah, so this is the one and only Class 37 that I own. I don't own any 47s. I don't even, aside from the HST there, I don't own any other diesels in 00. But this was the one I was most excited about getting. Again, another gift from my grandmother. This one, the William Cookworthy. It is, yeah. I need to get this one rolling. It was just I more want to give this a once over before I stick it on the track and see if it goes, because I really like this. It sounds a bit silly, but this is the one that means more. So whilst I was quite happy to stick the Flying Scotsman straight onto the track, untested after sort of probably 35 years, having just been sat in a box in a loft for that length of time. Yeah, sticking that on untested was like, yeah, it'd be fine. Like nothing's necessarily going to go wrong. Worst it will do is not run. This I wouldn't risk in the same way. So this one, yeah, that's going to get some careful attention, and then we'll be taken down the club and hopefully given a run. That'll be next Wednesday.